Hello everyone. Today we're gonna crack into my medical kit. What the plan is for this video is to go through my existing medical kit and write down what I have, and then I have went to the store this morning and I stocked up on some things that I knew I needed, so I want to show you what I've got, and then we're going to put the existing medical kit into a bigger box with my new medical kit. So I just wanted to show you what I kept on hand, and then we'll go over what I need to get to. All right, so let's open this up and see what I have existing in the medical kit, and it's definitely gonna have to be organized. So I have a thermometer, of course. This is I just got it at the drugstore. It's a rapid read digital thermometer. Super handy. Everybody needs to have a thermometer. We also found out you must keep, these are just dog training pads. When we had a stomach virus, these were lifesavers. If you do not have a bag of training pads or check pads, whatever you'd like to call them, you need to have some of these stashed away for emergencies. On the topic of stomach viruses, I always like to keep a bottle of Pedialyte. It says electrolyte solution. It's off-brand Pedialyte. Of course, I don't have to remind y'all, I know, to just keep a check on the expiration date. If you see expiration dates expired, this one's good until 2023, then replace. But there we go. What else do we have in here? I have not been in here in a while. Okay, so I have a stethoscope and a pulse ox reader. I was a nurse for a few years before I had kids, so I had my stethoscope. You can find a cheap one anywhere at the drugstore. It just comes in handy. You can find any YouTube video to listen for what normal lungs should sound like, or heart sounds. So that came in handy. And this little pulse ox reader that goes on your finger. I know y'all have seen these, especially with concerns about blood oxygen levels and stuff. This will tell you the O2 sat, the pulse rate too. So that's handy to have. And we actually used it for my mama when she was sick, just to keep a check on things. That is handy. Okay, I have this is actually a busted thermometer. I need to get rid of that. And then blood pressure cuff. This actually, I just got this at the drugstore too. You can find so many things like that at Walgreens, CVS, Walmart. This one actually comes with a little stethoscope with it. You put it around the arm, and then you pump it up and read it, and the stethoscope attachment is on it. That's just the one I have. You can probably buy one. You can even buy an automatic one that runs on batteries. I just like to have this on hand. Okay, next is a suture kit. My husband had been after me to get one of these to put into our medical kit for dire emergencies. Thank goodness I haven't had to use this. But it comes with everything you'll need. It has a sterile drape, sterile gauze pads, alcohol pads, sterile bandages, sterile scalpels, and the actual hemostats and little clipper thingies that you'll need. And then the actual, in here is the sutures. I won't open it up just because I want to keep it all together. But anyways, for absolute emergencies, we can suture. Along those same lines of sutures, sometimes you'll get wounds that don't quite need a stitch. These butterfly bandages can come in so handy just to hold a scratch together. These are wonderful to have, butterfly bandages. And of course, we just have big bandages, tape. We have some leftover gauze. It's just sterile gauzes and wraps from when my little boy was burnt when he was a little guy. They sent us home with a bunch of stuff, so we kept it for more emergencies, but thankfully we haven't had to use any. But these little Telfa non-adherent dressings are good. They don't stick to the wound. Those are good to have. We have the just cloth wrap for a wound or a sprain or whatever. Okay, this was actually expired. It is silver sulfadiazine. cream for when our little boy was burnt. It has expired, so I'm going to throw it out, but that is a good thing to look into to keep on hand. Okay, we've got more sterile bandages, non-adherent pads, sterile bandages, sterile stretch bandages. And I found a little sample pack of some bacitracin, which I don't use stuff like this, Neosporin, whatever you want to call it. I don't use stuff like this super often, but it does come in handy when you need it. This comes in pretty handy too. Like I said, I don't use store-bought stuff super often, but I do like to have it just in case. That was all in the old med kit. Now I'm going to show you what I bought today, and then we will restock and then see what else I need. Okay, so I bought a bigger box today when I went to Walmart, and then here we go with what I bought today to add to our medical kit. So I'm just going to go through it. A lot of it is going to be homeopathic remedies. This is Arnica gel. It helps with sore stuff. So I like to keep this on hand. I also bought some liquid Benadryl and some more self-adhering bandage. Comes in really handy when you're trying to keep something taped up that is stubborn. I also bought some iodine solution. I didn't have any of that, just keep it on hand. Some lidocaine gel. Lidocaine is to kind of numb things. I found this too. It is electrolytes for kids. No artificial sweeteners or colors or flavors. Yeah. And then this is another homeopathic for kids. Highlands is a good brand for homeopathic remedies, but this is a cold and cough daytime for kids. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different homeopathic remedies in that. And then, I bought some more butterfly bandages because you never can have enough of those. Also had a bag of Epsom salt in what I bought today, but I don't keep this in the medical kit. I just keep it under the counter in the bathroom for baths. And also under my bathroom cabinet, I have the big bottle of rubbing alcohol, witch hazel, peroxide, and a bottle of store-bought aloe stuff. I don't use it a whole lot, but in sunburn emergencies, it's good to have. But I also have actual aloe plant that I much prefer over the blue stuff from the store. So all of the stuff I'm talking about here in this medical kit is bought stuff that I have bought. So this medical kit is totally separate from my herbal thing I do, which I can talk about at a different time. But this is just what I have for when we don't want to necessarily run right away to the doctor. We can treat it at home. It's good to have stuff on hand for cases like that. And this video is not to try to convince you to never go to the doctor. That's not the point at all. We've been to the doctor several times. But it's just to make yourself prepared for if you need it. Like I said earlier, I was a nurse for several years before I had kids. I know not everyone might feel comfortable having these things in their home. They might not know how to use them. I've had to use them at the doctor's office, so I was familiar with them, but it's not a bad idea to familiarize yourself with just basic first aid. Get a book, watch a few videos, and then buy some stuff to have on hand for your family, because you never know when you need it. And I forgot to mention, I keep ibuprofen in our kitchen, where I keep our medicine in the kitchen. There's not much in my medicine cabinet in the kitchen though. Some more Benadryl, some ibuprofen. And that's pretty much it. We do not, try not to take over-the-counter medicine. Yeah. So I'm going to show you just in a minute here what I love to use when we do have something happen. It's a few resources, a few books that I keep on hand. Whether it's fever, sore throat, earaches, I will reference it and then usually try a few things that she recommends. And so far, so good. I really recommend it, so I'm gonna show you what that is in just a second. The first book is called Be Your Own Doctor by Rachel Weaver. And I have used this so many times just when we have a minor thing going on, like fever, cold, sore throat, earache, that kind of thing. And up next is Be Your Child's Pediatrician. It's the kid version of Be Your Own Doctor, and it's just got a little bit more childhood illness type things in it. Really, really informative, and I recommend it to anyone. It's by Rachel Weaver also, same woman. I will link it in the description. I put up a question box on Instagram if any of y'all had any questions about first aid kits. One of the major questions was, do we need to check expiration dates on things? And yes, especially if there's any liquid medicine or anything like that, like the Benadryl I had, I'll check the expiration date on it. The Pedialyte, I'll check the expiration date on that. And the sterile things, they may have expiration dates on them, but it's always a good idea to check. I'm not a huge stickler for expiration dates, but like with the Benadryl, I am. And there was another question about Benadryl, and I do keep that for emergencies. We don't use that for anything. I may have gave it once or twice if they've had a crazy rash or something and the doctors told me to, but I do not just give it for anything. But we do keep Benadryl, and we keep ibuprofen, and that's the only over-the-counter medicines we use. So another thing I wanted to point out too, my medical kit is not like the best, like for great big emergencies like gunshot wounds, or I don't have a tourniquet or anything like that. Mine is very basic for minor first aid. If you're looking for something a little more proper, like for something for great emergencies, like your tourniquet, like your chest seal or something, I will link a great resource in the description. It's a company that sells things like that. And then the last thing I wanted to say, I mentioned at the start of the video that I would talk about what I need. So one thing I need for my first aid kit, not necessarily in the house, I need a first aid kit in the car. I do not have one. Shame on me, I know. So I'm going to work on that first aid kit for the car. Other than that, if you all have any extra tips, or did I miss something, or do you all do something different, let me know in the comments. Thank you. Part 2 will be about herbal and home remedies that I use.